Alright, and we are back. So, I made some time mining, and we've made some things. So, a pulverizer. Went ahead and made that. This is from thermal expansion. The machine frame, fairly easy. As soon as you get some gold, you can go ahead and throw that together. And then, even though I have a furnace over here, I went ahead and threw together a powered furnace. Again, with the machine frame, you end up making quite a few of those. The redstone reception coil, which is used on both of those again. So it's 2 pieces of gold, some redstone, piece of gold for this, piece of gold for this, some redstone. That's the general outline for all of the thermal expansion machines. 2 copper down here, and then something to do with what you're making, and 2 blocks that have to do with what you're making. So for the powered furnace, it's 2 bricks because it's a furnace, and a redstone because it's, I guess, for power or something. The pulverizer, it's 2 pieces of flint, presumably to grind stuff, a piston. So they sort of have some things to do. And they all follow that basic format. And then I also made a hobbyist's steam engine, which is fairly simple. Some gold gears, which are a little intensive. I kind of forgot to make I thought I was recording when I made these, but obviously I was not. 4 sticks gets a wooden gear. Put the wooden gear in the middle, surround it with 4 stone. That's a stone gear. Surround it with 4 pieces of gold. That's a gold gear. We have another piston and some gold nuggets. Makes a steam engine. And I just threw those right over here. I was going to put them down there, but then I realized it would take a little while to run all this pipe through there. And that is golden conductive pipe, which is some gold transport pipe and a piece of redstone, which is glass with gold on either side. And I have some wooden conductive pipe, which is just glass with wood on either side. So the wood sucks it out of allows the engine to export, and then the gold transmits that power to the 2 machines. You do have to have a lever to turn this on, fill it up with water, throw some coal in there, and you're good to go. And it is now producing power, and then these are using the power. So once you have these down, you can see it's using 1 power, and it will self-adjust itself. It has a max of 4, so if there is 4 available, it will go to 4 if it has work to do. The less work it has, it will lower its power usage. Also, if there's less power, it will lower its power usage. Next to that, we have a powered furnace, which works the same way. And the pulverizer will take the ore and turn it into 2 dust. The furnace will take each dust and turn it into an ingot. Now, you'll notice these colors. That is pretty handy. Thermal expansion machines have a configuration, and they auto pull and auto export their materials. So what this is set up to do right now is this is the front, so the left-hand side and the top are set to blue. So if an inventory is there that contains that can export, and it comes in on that side, it will automatically put it in the blue area. This is the export area, and it's going to the right, so it can export, and the furnace can import. So when it lands here, it will export it to the next inventory. This one, its input is set up to come from its left, so this is exporting to the right, this is importing from the left, so as this pulverizes, it goes ahead and sends it right to the furnace, who then starts cooking it, and then is exporting it to the right, where there's a chest, where they automatically show up. So it's a very cool system, it's easy to set up. It does take a while because my power requirement, or my power generation, is not very good right now, but I'm going to be trying to improve that. So I have a bit more mining to do before I can comfortably make what is called an aqueous accumulator, and I would like to see myself get 1 or 2 more steam engines, and then 3 steam engines should be a good intermediate step until I can actually get going with some real serious power generation. You can see this outputs 1.6, so we'll call it 1.5. So 3 of those are going to give me 4, which means that it could potentially run 1 of these at max power if I needed it to. So 3 is a pretty good place to stop building those. It gives you enough power to use, but not so much that later you wish you had those resources to do something else. You do want to turn this off when it's not being used, as once it runs down and starts generating energy and has nowhere to put it, it will jam, and you'll have to use a wrench to open it back up. And we will talk about wrenches in a bit. One thing to note when you're placing these down, if you want a high chance of it placing in the correct orientation, put the wooden pipe in place first, and then it will sort of sense that the wooden pipe is going to be its energy output, and it will orient itself in this manner, which is the correct manner. If this top green part, which is only green because it's running, but if that part is facing another direction, it won't output its energy correctly. It has to orient to the wooden pipe. Now those can point in any direction, it just has to connect to that wooden pipe on that face of the engine. So I'm going to go and get some more stuff until I can get an aqueous accumulator and maybe a sawmill, and then I will be back. Alright, so we made the aqueous accumulator. Again with the machine frame, this time we also had to make a pneumatic servo, and then just some glass and some tin in a bucket. Now, how does that work? Well, first what we need is a wrench, because it did not position the way I quite was hoping it could. I'm not sure I can get it positioned the way I want, but we're going to try. So I need a stone gear and some iron gear, and I should probably do this on camera. So let me go ahead and grab... Yeah, I have enough. What else do I need? Some stone gear and 3 iron. That's 10 iron. Alright. So, first I'm going to need some sticks. And that's going to be a wooden gear, which is then surrounded by 4 stone to make a stone gear. And then I need 3 iron, so that makes sort of a wrench, and now I've got a wrench. Alright, now, with this wrench, I can change the way these blocks face. I was hoping I could change it so that you cannot pump out of the front of this thing. But it's not gonna... I can change it... So if you shift-click, you can pick it up, which is the safe way to do that. Shift right-click with the wrench, and then you will pick that up. And then let's put the aqueous down again. Yeah, it's just not going to work. Alright. So, now what we need is... Well, let me show you the interface first. So the interface is here. Again, you have all of these. Now, that means it intakes on all sides. So what we're going to end up doing is a water source. Come on. A water source there. And then a water source back there. And a water source there. I just keep my bucket full and make sure that doesn't need any more. Wow. Good thing I decided to do this. It was very nearly empty. That should do it. Oh. Huh. There we go. Alright. Now if we look in here, this thing is full of water. So I have some extra pipes from when I made all of the conductive. However, they're here. No, they're here. No, they're here. No, they're here. I have wooden transport pipes, golden transport pipes, and still some conductive pipes. But these need to be waterproof. The way to get waterproof is to get cactus. I don't have cactus, and I have not found a desert nearby. So, instead, I've only found 3 shards of minium, so I can't use the alternative method to get, unless there's some in my mine down here. Yay! I also have found all sorts of stuff in the mine. I found an extensive cave system, no shards of minium, and an abandoned mine, all sorts of fun stuff like that. So I'm going to have to go find either some cactus, or I'm going to have to kill some monsters to get some shards of minium. With a shard of minium, you can transpose some other stuff. So, let me go do that, and then I will be back. Okay, so I finally found desert. So I'm going to get some cactus and hopefully not die. I'm quite a ways away. So my last death was near my house when I was mining. So I'm 700 something blocks, probably 800 something blocks away from my home. But there's cactus, which is important, and I'm happy. So I will see you when I get back. Okay, so in my exploration I also came across these, and I thought I'd show you those little fire flowers. But when you break them, boom, blaze powder. Pretty cool. If you can find those, saves you having to enter the nether for some blaze power before you're really ready. Lots of cool stuff to be made with blaze powder, so always worth noting. Alright, I'll be back when I'm at home. Alright, now that we're back, we're going to be making some stuff, and I've got some stone gears, and I just need to make some gold gears here. There's a zombie out there banging away on the upper door. Oh, I need... Oh, that actually makes me feel kind of good. I don't need... That should be good. Okay, 4 there. And I need glass. Yeah, I have glass. Okay. So, we're going to make 2 more of these hobbyist steam engines, if that wasn't painfully obvious. Alright, there's 2 of those. Now, I've got this aqueous accumulator over here, and it outputs from every side except the front, because apparently they just want to be difficult. But you still need the waterproof, or the wooden pipe, to go ahead and get that. So, I guess I should also explain the pipe waterproofing. Oh, did I melt all my... I had a stack of tiny cactuses, and 4 tiny cactuses arranged in that pattern will get you cactus paste, which you can then smelt into cactus green. I also had some regular cactus, which you can put in there, and it will turn into cactus paste, which you can turn into cactus green. Cactus green can be turned into pipe waterproofing, which I stuck right there. So I had some extra, and I'm going to keep some in cactus green because it's also green dye, and I need to go plant these cactus out there somewhere, because that way I can grow more, and I don't need to be concerned about it. But you take a pipe and a piece of pipe waterproof, stick it in here, shapeless crafting, and it will give you a waterproof pipe. And you can only have, there's only like 4, I believe, waterproof. Oh, there's a bunch. So wooden, cobble, stone, iron, golden, emerald, void, and sandstone. And they all do the normal things that the same pipes do, except they can transport liquid. So, of course, we need the wooden pipe first, and the cool thing about the thermal expansion machines is that they will auto output. So it's automatically already filling that. I don't need to make an engine to do that. And we're going to have 3 engines, so we're going to do that. Now, I am also going to need the rest of this conductive pipe, but I don't need this anymore. I'm going to need 2 more of the conductive pipe for this, and that is going to go, let's see, what do I want to do here? I probably want to close this in. I put torches back there so that there's no danger of monsters showing up or anything like that, because that would be uncool. So let's go ahead and do pipe. Wait. No. Temporarily, we're going to do stone, and then do... that's going to put the other one right there. Well, if I face them down, that would work. It'll just look weird. Well, that's what it's going to be. Alright. I can get rid of that. And then, for now, I'm going to go ahead and get stuck. And then, where's my wrench? It takes forever to break that. So, let me go get my wrench. Let me break this. And I need 2 sticks, 2 stone, and I need a couple more levers, and I need a wrench, and shift click on the engine, maybe not. There we go. Alright, so wooden conductive pipe. I'm just going to try and put it on that one. And they don't join, but it sets it up correctly. Now, steam engine, steam engine, steam engine. Of course they connect the improper way, but I take my wrench out, give it a right click, and it orients itself correctly. Now I take my golden conductive pipe, and I pipe just like this, so that those are all out and connected. And then I take my my one lead, and I want them to connect to those two, and I'm one short. Of course I am. Isn't that always the way? You're always one short. So let me get one more, and a redstone, and that. There's my golden conductive pipe, and there we go. Now, I've discovered a problem. I'm going to need more gold conductive pipe. I don't have a room for my levers. Always the way of things. Well, hold on. Let me go measure first. Not measure, but think this through. So if I want this to come out 1, yeah, I should only need 1 more. And the reason I don't want to do too much is I don't really want to convert just all of them and have to remake some. So I think, you know what? I think I only need 1. I don't know why I keep coming back over here. I have them in my inventory. I can just place them. Okay, so give me this all back. And then it should work if I do that. And then I should also be able to fill that back in. And lever, lever, lever. Every time, there's one that's wrong. Now these are connecting, so they're already all filled with liquid. I just need 3 stacks of coal, and we should be good. So let's see here. Stack of coal, and a stack of coal. Now we turn it on, turn it on, turn it on. Wait for a second for those to warm up. Yep, they're all on. And then they should be producing energy and pumping it into my 2 machines here. Good stuff. So, there we go. A basic little mining processing center. I've got a hopper on here so that I can throw things in, and it will flow straight down into my pulverizer. Of course, it's hooked to the top, which is a blue intake. I can actually turn that off for now. So the blue is going to come in from the top, and it's going to go over. I just need to give it some stuff to process. So, let's process, what do we got? Some tin, some silver, yeah, some lead. Lead will be good. Oh, copper. I don't think I have any. Yeah, I've pretty much processed. As you can see when I open this chest up, I've run through a couple things of iron, some copper already. So, if we go in here and we say, give me some copper, and some silver, and some lead, and some tin, and that'll sit up there while it's melting down here, and it's using energy, and we're good to go. We've theoretically designed a system. I'd like to see the blue stuff, blue energy lines running down there. Well, they're just now starting to produce, but so there we go. There's our system. So that's the end of this episode. I think it's a good wrapping up point. We will be back next time. This is the Average Gamer Guy, Feed the Beast, episode 1. Have a good day. Alright, so we're back. Episode 2 of This is Average Gamer Guy. This is the Feed the Beast mod. So, we got a lot of stuff. I had some successful mining. I could use some more wood. But some of these chests are starting to fill up, and they're just sort of these random hey, I'm going to throw some stuff in this chest. These are even in the wrong one. There's no real rhyme or reason. So I think we need to sort that out just a bit. So what we're going to need is there are technically 4 chests right here. So what we're going to do is do 4. And then surround that with iron. That's going to give us normal chest to iron chest upgrade, which are very cool. Now, they don't stack, but because we're playing Feed the Beast, this should autofill when I use this. And we're going to see what happens is, when I click on this, bam, it turns into an iron chest. Of course, it did not do that. There it goes. Iron chest. Now, you'll notice iron chests can, in fact, sit next to each other without an issue. And when I open it, the inventory's huge. Now, it doesn't know what I wanted where, so it just sort of threw things in there. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to spend a little bit of time sorting through this stuff and just getting it sort of mildly organized. And then I think we're going to need some sort of farmy thing going on. I don't really know yet what it is that we're going to do, but we need something because I gotta make sure that food is not an issue. So that's what we'll be doing this episode, or at least for a small portion of this episode. Alright, I will be back in a second. Okay, so I got that sorted and I came over here and I had a giant power backup. It was only in this little 3 block and it wasn't flowing through. And it took me a second to figure out I had a lever right here. And that's stupid because that lever turns off this pulverizer. So I had a couple options. One is I could enable it to have a high signal, so you can control these with redstone. You can just flat out disable it with this button. You can have it react to a low redstone signal, which means it's just on, or a high redstone signal, which means that you can control it, and if it receives a redstone signal, it will be active, and if not, it will turn off. So I have it set to just run, which means when it does not receive a redstone signal, it's on. When it does, it turns off. And I had a lever here. So my lever turned on the engine, turned off the pulverizer, so none of the ore processed. These didn't use any energy. The energy had nowhere to go, so it just sat here and backed up, and he's generated energy for nothing. Well, that's a problem. So I could set this to the other mode, so that when this is on, that will be on. That will run, but then what if I have to turn this off because I don't need the power? Well, now that doesn't run, and then I forget to turn it on when I put ore in here, and on and on. So simpler to just come around here, go ahead and place the lever on the block underneath, so that it powers the block, and the block powers the engine. So now it's all good, it's all going smoothly. We're using power. You can see that the blue line is in fact flowing all the way through. If you'll remember last episode, I suspected that I might have a problem, but I thought, oh, maybe it just doesn't have anywhere to go, so it gets backed up here because it doesn't send it anywhere, which is faulty, and I thought it was probably wrong, but I sort of wanted to say, I'm sure it'll work itself out. It doesn't work itself out. So there we go. Fixed that. Now I am just... Oh, it's daytime, so now we're going to go and do a bit of farming. We're going to blow up. That's great. I'm really excited about that. That was just what I was thinking would happen today when I walked out of my door. Alright, let's fix that. Thank you, Mr. Creeper. There. Now at least I've got a little bit of leeway, I guess. So there's the fence. Well, let's put the fence back. And I've got some gravel that I think probably went... I don't even know. Let's stick it up there. Sure. Alright. Now, we need somewhere to farm. First, we're going to go kill a skeleton. Ow. Okay, there we go. Now, we still need somewhere to farm. Oh my gosh, another skeleton. Alright. So, somewhere to farm. Well, first things first. This is where I harvested a bunch of sand. So, right here. So let's... So I think I can make a interesting little farm for one thing that you're going to need is a decent amount of sugar cane, because you end up using quite a few books. Once you start to get linking books and Mystcraft Ages, you use a decent amount of books. Not to mention, if you want to do anything with Thaumcraft, you're going to need a fair amount of books for the research on that. Or not books, excuse me, paper. So you do need something of an extensive sugarcane production facility. Right now, I think we're just going to be happy with your basic, hey, I made some rows in the sand, inefficient kind of deal. So, without further ado, let's let the water in and see how we did. Okay. Where does this get this one? So we want to chop off this and that. And here. And there. Alright. And that should get us even out across there. Oop, those are a little too much, so let's go ahead and do this. Well, that's not what we want. And there. Right, okay, now if we do like we did on the others, it should be the right distance. That one's the right distance, this one's still not. Let's do that. Now kill off the flow, and then we just put the flow back. And it should be the right length. Yep, okay, now we're good. And then do this. Right, what am I doing? Shovel time. And there we go. Alright, now we start with 10 and go from there. So, from small beginnings. And because we're going to have to come over here and harvest the sugar cane, we might as well come through periodically and collect our cactus harvest. Let's see. That looks like a good spot for one. I guess there and there. That's a decent amount of cactus. We don't need a ton of cactus. So that's good for a little waterside mini farm while we're still just getting started out here. Now, where do we want the real big guy farm? First, let's chop down some trees. We'll put it over here. Now, these trees are Minecraft Factory Reloaded trees, and they are rubber trees. So there are two different kinds of rubber. These rubber wood, and they drop this kind of rubber. It is not the same kind of rubber that you get from sticky resin and tree taps. That is different, or rubber wood in the rubber wood trees in the jungle, which we will see some of those if we haven't already. This kind of rubber, you smelt it in a furnace to turn it into a rubber bar, which can then be used like any other rubber source. And then if you take that rubber bar and you were to, I believe you smelt it again, it will turn into plastic, which is the beginning basic ingredient for a lot of the Mine Factory Reloaded equipment. And that stuff is very cool, and I'm going to definitely be getting into that and using some of that. It allows for some absolutely fun stuff. It's a great way to deal with breeding animals. It's a great way to sort of automate your farming for certain things. It's just a really cool mod. It also lets you grind up farm animals and then get the experience and store it so that you can then use that to enchant things later. So it's a very cool mod. So what I'm going to do is I am going to you know what, do I have enough to make I can make a filler, but I can't quite make the redstone source to power it. So I think I'm just going to make a smaller farm for now, and then worry about expanding it later. So I'm going to clear out just a little bit of this, enough to get some flat space, and then I will be back. Alright, and we're back. So this is progressing nicely. We're accumulating a nice little set of ores. Probably need to expand this chest at some point. And most importantly, we've got our little farm up and running. And it's almost night. Hold on. Let me go sleep through the night. Because we certainly don't want to get attacked in the middle. Alright. You can see I have a gem sword. I don't think I've covered. Rubies, sapphires, and green sapphires can be used just like iron to make tools. They have I believe they have something like the durability of diamond and the strength of iron. So a pickaxe made out of this can mine everything up to obsidian, but not obsidian, but it has a very high durability and mining speed. This sword does as much damage as an iron sword, but it lasts as long as a diamond one, so they're kind of handy, and you can use them. I believe you can also use rubies in place of diamonds to make some of the electrical equipment. I'm not absolutely positive. So this is the door. That's the door. This is the little food area that I've made. And since it's straight walls, I went ahead and just put quartz. I started doing all of them, and then I started running out, so I started doing every other one just to stop spiders, so it'll go up. Those hurt you if you run into them. So we got little pumpkins. I found some pumpkin seeds down in the abandoned mine I ran into. So those are interesting. And then if we go in here, we can see I have the traditional 4 squares around 1 water block, and I have some potatoes, some seeds, some silk plants, and some corn. And it also occurs to me that I put my bone meal away. I also replanted a lot of the rubber saplings over there. And again, it's not like there's any kind of super special automation that's going on or anything. These are certainly not... come on. These are certainly not anything special, but it is good to sort of get this stuff underway so that when I do want to automate the farm, I've got enough seeds that I can have a decent start. So these silk plant, well, let's start with corn. Corn is pretty neat. When you grow it, it grows into corn. Now when you trim that, it trims the whole plant, and you get corn on the cob. Well, you get corn, and you get corn kernels, which of course you can replant. Now you can also smelt corn kernels to make popcorn, which you can eat. So we'll see that in a second. This is silk. Now with silk, it's 2 blocks tall. And unlike corn, which is 2 blocks tall, when you chop this, if you only chop the top, you get some flax seed and some string back. But the bottom plant stays there, so it doesn't have to grow all over again. Only the top. But see, if you trim the bottom, the whole plant goes away, and it has to start over. So do be careful when you are trimming your flax plants. But it's great to have a good source of string. And you want some string because while I was down in the abandoned mine, I ran into an issue and I had to make... Oops, it's canvas, not silk. Some canvas, which is a stick surrounded by string, gets you a piece of canvas, and with a canvas bag, that is 8 pieces of canvas, like a chest. And that is especially cool because when it's in your hotbar, you can right-click it, and it opens up a whole other inventory that you can put things in. Super handy when you're mining, or we'll see it's going to be really handy later when we're doing machines, that I can just throw redstone energy cells and wrenches and things like that that I need somewhat often, but not all the time. It's handy to be able to have that and throw that in there. Now, when you put corn into the iron furnace, you get out cob-o corn. And that's a decent food source. It's okay. When you put corn kernels in there, we're going to see what we get back. Popcorn. Popcorn's pretty neat. It's not the best food source ever because it just doesn't give you back a whole lot on the hunger bar. But if we eat it, it gives you a speed boost for like 10 seconds. So that's pretty neat. And it's pretty. That's just kind of a cool little effect. So neat. There's also a plant I did not plant, which I should go do. There it is, henequen. Henequen doesn't have a ton of uses that I have found other than the fact that you can turn it into seed oil, which becomes fairly important later when you're doing some other things. And the seed oil, you can get it from seeds, but you can also get it from henequen. I'm not exactly certain what else henequen does. I haven't found a whole lot of uses for it other than that. But, you know, we'll see. So, let's see. This is still going away. Alright. So, I will be back in just a second. Alright, so I'm back, and just a little bit more mining. I think that that's probably going to be a good wrapping up point. We're just over 35 minutes. I think that's a good episode. A little bit of farming got done, a whole lot of mining, and some power machine stuff. So I think that's going to do it. We're just going to keep letting these run. And next time we're going to come back and maybe expand with some additional machines. I think it's time to make a sawmill, and we might be trying to get into a little bit of the redstone, and creating perhaps some better sources of power, which might require a trip to the Nether. Who knows? We'll find out next time on the Feed the Beast playthrough. Average Gamer Guy. Have a good day.